A new code-first agent framework released by Microsoft seems to be very promising. It can be considered as an improved version of AutoGen for coders. And the good news is that these two frameworks can work together in a multi-agent architecture. That means you can, for example, have a multi-agent framework in AutoGen and use TaskWeaver as one of the agents. Or you can use an agent powered by TaskWeaver and call other agents via plugins. Combining TaskWeaver with AutoGen in a multi-agent solution is not the only advantage of TaskWeaver. On the GitHub page, you can read some more highlights and advantages. For example, TaskWeaver can handle rich data structures like pandas Dataframes. This alone is a huge advantage as we can use the power of pandas Dataframes to deal with tabular data like database tables. Another big advantage compared to AutoGen is that TaskWeaver let us easily encapsulate our functions into plugins. We will cover this in upcoming videos. There are even more advantages. We can feed TaskWeaver with our data. It can remember the context of our conversation and has better code verification and so on. To understand how TaskWeaver works, we can check the corresponding paper about it. Here is described in details how TaskWeaver operates and how its components interact with each other. TaskWeaver has three components: the planner, the code generator, and the code executor. The planner communicates with the user and is like the user proxy agent in AutoGen. Additionally, it breaks down the request in subtasks and manages the execution of the subtask with self-reflection, and finally responds to the user in a human-readable fashion. The code generator uses plugins and examples and generates code to incorporate function calls. The code executor executes the code and maintains the execution state. One very interesting point about TaskWeaver is that it incorporates a two-layer planning to handle the user requests. In the first layer, by the planner, generating a high-level outlining plan with subtasks, and in the next layer, by the code generator, making a chain of thoughts to solve the subtasks. From this two-layer planning, we can learn how the LLM tries to solve the problem. It may inspire us to try a new way, or we have a better solution and can train the agent to do the task better next time. So let's begin with a simple example to see how we can start using TaskWeaver. The installation of TaskWeaver is straightforward and is described on the GitHub page. Running the TaskWeaver is easy too, but notice that you need to specify a path to your project using the -p parameter. We will go here through the setup process step by step. First, we clone the TaskWeaver repository into a folder. Then we change to the new folder and open Visual Studio Code from inside the folder. In Visual Studio Code, the first step is to navigate to the project folder and open TaskWeaver config.json. Here we can add our OpenAI API key. I will revoke this key before uploading the video, so use your own key. We use the latest OpenAI LLM as only the latest OpenAI API supports the JSON object response format. If you are using an older version of OpenAI API, you need to do some more configuration and set the LLM response format to null. When we are done with the configuration, we close the config file. Next, we need to install the requirements. You can install the requirements and then add the packages needed for the example. Or the better way is to add the packages needed for the example at the end of requirements.txt file and then install the requirements. But before installing the packages, we need to create a virtual environment. If you use tools like Conda to create virtual environments, feel free to use it. After creating the virtual environment, we activate it. Make sure the name of the virtual environment appears before the prompt. After the virtual environment is created, we can install the requirements.txt. This will install all of the packages needed for TaskWeaver and the packages needed for the sample code. After all of the packages are installed, we can clear the terminal, close the file, and make some room to run TaskWeaver. To run TaskWeaver, we type python-m taskweaver-p and the path to our project. In our case, /project. When you see TaskWeaver on the screen, it means it is installed and we are ready to start using TaskWeaver. We can enter forecast the price of Microsoft for the next week using the ARIMA model. ARIMA stands for Autoregressive Integrated Moving Average and is used to predict the future based on the past values. Keep in mind, ARIMA assumes that the future is like the past. So in certain market conditions like rapid growth or financial crisis, it's not the best model to predict the future. But for now, it's okay. TaskWeaver needs the historical data to use the ARIMA model. As we have already installed Yahoo Finance, we tell TaskWeaver to use it. Then it starts solving the problem and makes some trial and error rounds and starts some internal communication. The ARIMA model needs 3 parameters. We provide the parameter and hit enter. TaskWeaver continues solving the problem. And after some internal planning and code generation and code execution, we get our forecast. Don't ask why one of the values are missing. This may be solved next time you run the sample. For this simple case, we may save time and tokens when we calculate the forecast ourselves. Nevertheless, we wanted to try TaskWeaver and see the potential it has for the future, especially as the LLMs and AI frameworks and agents get better over time and we can handle the request more precisely and in more reliable fashion in the future. To wrap it up, TaskWeaver is in early stages, but looking back how fast LLMs and AI frameworks evolved in 2023 alone, we see clearly how much potential lies in TaskWeaver. Combining it with AutoGen using plugins and a free local LLM, it can completely change the way we can automate work and code. If you are interested in this kind of content, please like this video and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content. For now, good luck trying TaskWeaver.